Well, hello. As you know, when you import food and feed and certain high-risk goods into the UK from 2022, you will be required to notify DEFRA, the Agricultural Authority, of any food, composite product, feed, etc. arriving. That is the pre-notification. And then later in the year, from July onwards, you would be required to upload the EHC, the Export Health Certificate. Now, believe what you want about this system, whether it's it's a good idea or a bad idea. It's essentially about controlling or protecting the UK from any pests or any problematic foods coming into the country. And there are strict rules, and they are enshrined with the WTO and the SPS agreement of the WTO, which is SPS stands for sanitary and phytosanitary measures, and they are supposed to protect the country against pests and the likes of it, diseases and whatnot. Think about African swine flu, BSE, all of these nasty things that we don't want in this country or in any country. So we've got this system of pre-notifying the pending arrival of certain, what in the UK we call POAO, which is product of animal origin. There are also, of course, non-POAO goods that are subject to this registration. And IPAFFS, in fact, is already in force. It's already in operation for any movement of these POAO and non-POAO and high-risk food and plant foods of non-EU origin. So anything coming from further afield already leverages the system or uses the system. In the EU, there is an extended grace period, which is going to last until the end of the year 2021, and then from 2022 it's supposed to start with the pre-notification. So what I've done is I went into the IPAFFS system and had a bit of a look around, and I created some screenshots to show you guys what happens when you actually register. And when you register, what kind of forms and what kind of information you need to provide before you actually upload the EHC, right? The Export Health Certificate. So it's a little bit tedious to click your way through it, but if you're thinking about registration or you're not quite sure how to go about it and whether you need to collect this information prior to you, or what information you need to collect, from who, what supplier needs to provide you what information so you can complete the IPAFFS pre-notification, then this is the video for you. So if you're interested to join me on my way clicking through IPAFFS, then let's get started. I'm ready. Let's get going. Okay, so I've moved up here to the top right-hand corner. Hope that's okay, so you can see the screen. So IPAFFS, yeah, preparing for sending notifications from the 1st of January 2022. So this is a bit of a walkthrough of what's actually going on. As you know, all of that we're saying here is not legal advice, and you really need to check out IPAFFS yourselves and get advice from the government websites and the likes of it. Do ask other people about IPAFFS and form your own opinion. Don't blindly believe everything I say here. Although it's well-intentioned, things change, boxes change, everything can change. So just be mindful of that. All right, with that said, don't forget that if you don't know who we are, well, we are a specialized provider of customs and global trade solutions for exporting and importing businesses and their partners. We offer a one-stop shop approach, allowing our clients to reach their global customers faster, cut red tape and paperwork, de-risk and stay compliant, and grow, of course, faster globally. We have a one-stop shop proposition. We offer you customs filing solution, consultancy, training, a VIP hotline, and an expert blog, and that, of course, includes professional legislative monitoring. And if you don't know who I am, well, here you got your one slide that explains you everything about me. So the pre-import notification is once you've signed up to the Government Gateway website and you have registered for IPAFFS, well, meaning you have enabled IPAFFS, and the first thing you see is this. It's your import notifications here on one screen. You would have the alerts. You could search all of your certificates that you would have, and of course on the top you can see there is managed trade partners, so you can add other companies, and that way you can manage multiple companies, and that's why we're able to offer our import notification or IPAFFS support service. So if you need to launch IPAFFS pre-certifications or upload trade documents, we are a dedicated company that helps you manage that. We pre-notify, we upload EHCs, we help you get EHCs, we do everything that you need to do in order to get your goods into the UK, and that includes, of course, dealing with IPAFFS. So if you need any support on IPAFFS, just reach out. Here are the border control posts. So if you look here, you will see the border control post that you need to kind of indicate search by. And then there's a certificate status that you can see here. And you can see here is your border control post, all of them, the options that you have with the various numbers. The certificate status is here as well, right? So this is where you are. And then the first question you need to answer as you upload every pre-notification, there are about 10 to 15 questions, depending on the level of granularity. So the first question you're going to be asked is, what are you importing? And you only have really 4 options. It's either live animals, it's product of animal origin, it's high-risk food and feed of non-animal origin, or it's plant products and other objects. You select, you click save and continue. I have selected products of animal origin, for example. Then you select the country of origin. This is the origin of the animal or the product. We have 2 examples for you. So today we're going to import stuffed pasta, so cannelloni or tortellini or something like this. And we are going to search for the commodity code if we know it. And if not, we have this drop-down menu right here where we can click our way through it. So you see it here for the pasta, we would go to 19, then we go to 1902, and so on, depending on whether it contains eggs or it's stuffed pasta, whether or not cooked or otherwise prepared. And you can also select this commodity right away, and then it'll give you another option where you need to add information. So depending on the product you're actually going to be importing, you're then presented with a commodity menu, as you see here. So in this case, we have a pasta that has meat, and it has quite a lot of meat. It's more than 20% of the weight of sausages and the likes. So that kind of product. But this pasta is, in this description, still very generic, right? We still don't know what kind of meat this is. Is it bovine meat? Is it pork meat? Is it what meat? So we need to, with this code, we now need to select the species, because with the species comes the risk, right? So if you have African swine flu, that doesn't affect birds. But if you have avian bird flu, then that affects birds, right? So it matters whether you select Avis, which is the bird class, the chickens and the likes, or whether you select Suidai, I don't know how you say that, which is wild and domestic swine, right? So that does matter. And on top of that, you could be having pasta. So you can have a pasta being a composite product, which has pasta, so noodles, the wheat part and the meat part. So you need to make the right selection here, which is a bit tedious because it's all in Latin, but c'est la vie, as they say in Latin. Got that? No, it's French. Anyway, yeah, so got that. Once you did that, here I selected composite product, which is a combination of meat and of pasta, and then you click save and continue, and that is that. I'll give you another example how that changes. So imagine you're importing raw ham, then you click your way through it like this, and depending on the choice you make here, the commodity code changes, obviously, and the commodity screen also changes. Now, as you have selected hams, it moves directly into the Latin name of your domestic swine. And because you know now that this name, Suide, is wild and domestic swine, you can, well, not really, Sus scrofa domesticus, I don't know how good your Latin is. Anyway, I've got it, I clicked it, and we move on. Okay, then you get, so this is how it will look. Then it will ask you for weight. So now you need to weigh the ham that's coming in. So that's information you do need. And that could be, this is the weight as it's entering Great Britain. Then you need to tell when you are bringing the goods in. Then you need to tell the reason of this movement for animal products. So here you have different options. Internal market, it means you're going to sell it on the internal market. And then this time for the supporting products. So this is where you should upload a copy of your health certificate. So you must provide this there. Now this they're probably going to change for the 1st of Jan because it's not needed yet. So we'll see how that works. But you can see what kind of support documents are possible. And there's quite a lot. You can even have a commercial document, an invoice. You can have potentially a license or authorization, depending on the type of product this might be needed, or even an other. So there might be private attestation that you're using. So in that case, you're going to upload that here. Then a question about where is it coming from, where is it going, and who's transporting it, importing it. So here you need to put in the addresses, places of origin. So you click on place of origin, and then it opens another box, and this is where you then put the place where it comes from. So this is about traders, not about the product. So this asks, where is the trader who is sending the stuff? Then you move to the importer, and it asks the question, who's the importer who's bringing the stuff into the country? And then you do the same, and you add a place of destination, and that is allowing you to tell where it's going. And you can store these, so you can have multiple destinations and multiple importers and places of origin stored here, depending on where it goes. Today it goes there, today it goes there, then tomorrow it goes there. So that allows you to fast track basically this notification. And you can then search. So if you have a place of origin that you've already pre-created, then you would be able to find that here. So I've kind of done that. I've put in all the details, and then I hit save and continue, and that tells you the place of origin has been created, and it would do the same with the importer and the place of destination. So overall, you have a situation that looks a little bit like this. You have a place of origin, you have an importer, you have a place of destination, and then you save and continue. You then have only one more final thing to do, and that is to enter the port information. So where's the port of entry? I'll just put Dover, but would probably be a good idea if you go back here to the very beginning to just add Belfast and then GB Bel 1. I think that could be a good idea. With that said, you then have your final notification. It looks like this, and then you can review that everything's okay. And then you hit the button send, and you are confirming that you are responsible for this import, and that to the best of your knowledge, the details you're providing are correct. And that brings us to the end of your IPAFFS notification. So you see, it's not that complicated. It gets a little tricky when you get to the Latin bit, to the commodity bit. So you need to know what is your product. You need to know what is your commodity code. As I've always said, you do need to know your commodity code. With your commodity code, you then need an appreciation of kind of what animal this is, or what product this is, or if it's a plant, what kind of plant this is. Ideally, you will do some research on the Latin name. Now, remember that we offer an IPAFFS pre-notification and export health certificate service. So if you need support in pre-notifying on IPAFFS, and you need support in the EHC, how do I get my EHC, how do I leverage it, all of that good stuff, then do not hesitate to reach out. And don't forget that we are here to help you. We're here to help you reach your global customers. We offer holistic customs and global trade support service for everyone. And you know, the reason why you want to work with us, it's quite clear. You want to save time, you want to save money, you want to get expertise, and you want to get access to all the systems such as IPAFFS to get the job done. You don't need to invest in these resources, in these sites and whatnot, because we've got all the access. So our one-stop proposition is there, and we're ready to support you. From customs declaration to consultancy to online learning courses to support, whatever support you need, we're there. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a good day. Until next time.